Hello and welcome to the Justice Factor. My name is Vuyo Mvoko, in for Justice this week. Now, sordid details have been coming out over the past few weeks of the working conditions former and current SARS officials say they faced under its suspended head, Tom Moyane. So how does an organization that's by many accounts now a shell of its former self aim to perform optimally and raise 1.3 trillion rands in revenue this year? Well, Acting SARS Commissioner Mark Kingon joins me a bit later in the show. After that discussion, we'll give you our winner and loser of the week. But first, the ANC Youth League is gearing to elect its next batch of national leaders in the coming months. But how will history judge the outgoing leadership of Colin Maine and his lieutenants? Well, to discuss the legacy of Nelson Mandela and other issues, I'm joined now by ANC KwaZulu-Natal Secretary and a man touted as a potential Maine successor, and that's Thanduxolo Sabela. Good evening, Thanduxolo. Thanks very much for talking to us this evening. Well, I mean, you guys have been leading the Youth League for a good few years now. How do you think history will judge you?
Good evening, Vuyo, and good evening to the viewers at home. First and foremost, we would want to argue that as the ANC Youth League, there is a program that we have been leading, especially the youth in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We do believe that, yes, we have had some challenges and that we have not performed to the full capacity which would have been expected to perform with. But we do believe that there is some impact that we have done in changing the lives of the youth, especially in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I can mention a number of programs which the ANC Youth League has led and a number of campaigns which the ANC Youth League has led, which has seen to a change in the lives of young people, but which, as we move forward, will continue to make a real difference in the lives of young people, especially dealing with the issues of unemployment, dealing with the issues of ensuring that young people get into the mainstream economy by doing business, and also ensuring that young people are able to access jobs through programs that we are leading. I can mention one, Vuyo, that we think is going to make a lasting impact to the youth of this country, where we are speaking to the government to abolish experience requirement for entry-level posts. We are speaking about posts from posts such as clerks to about the level of assistant director in government. We are saying to government, for such positions, government must not necessarily require experience, but must rather look for qualifications from young people and must also consider doing on-the-job training rather than requesting for experience, because experience, as we all know, is not sold anywhere. But we do believe that because of these kind of positions, from the entry level to about the assistant director level, which is a level of junior management, assistant director, will pave space for young graduates and will also encourage young people to go to school and complete their studies in institutions of higher learning, because they will now stand a chance to be employed. And we do believe that those jobs do not necessarily require 3 years experience as the normal case as required by our government.
Well, that you're saying you are currently pursuing, but I wanted to point to successes, to say when you claim that you have been taking up campaigns on behalf of the unemployed young people. Where is the evidence of that? When you say you have helped create business opportunities for young people, what are you pointing at?
Yeah, you see, Vuyo, in South Africa and in KwaZulu-Natal in particular, you've had a situation where youth development has been more of what you'll call a rhetoric, where every leader, if they take a podium, they will speak about developing young people. Now, we have said as the ANC Youth League, no, we need to start a situation where we institutionalize youth development, where you have got structures and institutions that are responsible for youth development, and where you dedicate funds to ensure that youth development does take place. And that process, we have done it in KwaZulu-Natal. You can speak about the provincial government, where we've got departments, provincial government departments, where we have established youth directorates. Municipalities, we have established youth manager positions, and those are fully functional, and there's been budgets that have been set aside. But in particular, of note, what we can report to the youth of KwaZulu-Natal, in the Premier's office in KwaZulu-Natal, we advocated that there must be a chief director and there must be a budget that is set for that chief directorate for the youth. And indeed, that office is there now and is functional. And we then called upon the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal to establish a fund that will look at granting youth-owned businesses. And indeed, the Premier in the State of the Province address this year has announced that that fund will begin with a 50 million rands budget. And indeed, that fund is there now in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, where only youth-owned businesses will come with proposals where they will be able to say, this is a proposal that can take me and a couple of other young people forward. And therefore, we'd like funding from the Office of the Premier. And the Office of the Premier will indeed do that. They will fund that business initiative.
Okay, you've alluded to challenges, as you call them, and you've also admitted that you have not, as the Youth League, performed to full capacity. What are you ready to admit?
Well, we can say that to a certain extent, there are some issues of the youth which we could have raised with the necessary vigor and put on the national stage or the provincial stage for it to receive attention. We do believe that unemployment, for that matter, is a serious issue facing young people, which should be a daily campaign of the ANC Youth League, and we have not done that. We have been campaigning for unemployment, for youth, for young people to get employment, but we have not done it on a daily basis to put that on a stage, and those are the changes that we speak about that the Youth League needs to start concentrating on. To say on a daily basis, the majority of the people who are unemployed in the country are the youth. So on a daily basis, the youth must have campaigns that will seek to push government and private sector to create jobs so that young people can have a better future.
How ready are you?
Raise one of those. I would also say,
how ready are you to admit also that you've been a big part of the problem of factions that we see in KwaZulu-Natal in particular?
No, most definitely. We as the Youth League in KwaZulu-Natal do accept that we have been part and parcel of the challenges that are facing the African National Congress in the province. That is why in this current stage, as the ANC Youth League, we are raising the issue that in KwaZulu-Natal we need to consider unity. You can't obviously consider unity without considering the fact that there is something that has caused disunity in the province. So as the Youth League, we are actively involved in ensuring that there's unity, even when it comes to leadership. As the ANC Youth League, we are calling upon for unity. The officials of the ANC Youth League have met today to discuss the issue of the upcoming conference, and we have said that there must be changes in the leadership of the ANC. Even in the top 5 of the ANC, we do need to consider changes so that the leadership is accommodative and that the province must now consider having unity moving forward. And we do believe that the province is now on a right track of trying to solve the challenges faced by the ANC in the province. And because to us, if you have a sick ANC, services are then compromised. Services to the people are then compromised. But if you have a healthy ANC, our government will be able to work on full capacity and will be able to deliver services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, which is our interest. Because if you deliver services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal...
Okay, you've raised your hand as a potential successor to Colin Maine. What will you do differently, and what do you think of his performance and contribution in the time that he has been president of the ANC Youth League?
Well, Vuyo, if I could correct you, I did not raise my hand to be the president of the ANC Youth League. I have been approached by regions of the ANC Youth League in KwaZulu-Natal and other provincial leaders in other provinces.
And you've accepted?
That I should consider standing as the president of the ANC Youth League. And indeed, I've said, I've spent my entire youth years in the ANC Youth League. Ever since I was at a very young age of 16, I've been actively involved in the structures of the ANC Youth League. And therefore, I've never refused any mandates that have been given by the members of the ANC Youth League. So if they believe I must stand as the president of the ANC Youth League, indeed I am available to serve the ANC Youth League at whatever capacity. I do believe that if I could be elected to be the president of the ANC Youth League, I would bring back that much needed vibrancy to put back the issues affecting young people on the national stage. Amongst the things that will be a key priority in whatever we do is to ensure that the youth development becomes at the center of government stage. But indirectly, we need to deal with the issues of unemployment which are facing the youth of our country, and also to ensure that the direction of the country in terms of policy and in terms of what the ANC National Conference resolved on, the ANC Youth League must ensure that it works with the leadership of the ANC, from the president of the ANC to the last additional member in the NEC of the ANC, to ensure that we achieve all the resolutions of the ANC from the 54th National Conference.
Okay.
So that is what we stand to bring.
Okay, we have run out of time, Thanduxolo. Thanks very much for talking to us this evening. Now, after the break, Mark Kingon tells us how he will go from a 50 billion rand tax collection shortfall to 1.3 trillion rand in revenue.